welcome back to Introduction to Yoga, continuing on a little bit. And in the last video I had you in hero pose, but now I'm going to have you switch to another comfortable seat. Okay? I thought I was going to go from hero pose, but I decided to instead go from just a seated position. So we're going to move towards some downward dogs and also practice dolphin pose. And so I just want to play with the shoulders for a moment to warm us up. Okay, so in your comfortable seated position, we'll do what we did in the beginning and go into the lift. Warm the shoulders up. Inhale up, reaching for the sky, and then exhaling it down. So feel the shoulder connection as you move. Feel the movement within the shoulder. And now bring it to your heart. Inhale, open. And exhale, press and curl. And then one more of those. Inhale, open and back. And exhale, curl. Awesome. So sometimes when you're in downward dog, it's a situation of taking care of your shoulders and how to line your shoulders up, keep them connected in just a little bit more. So I'm just going to practice here with you for a moment and have you reach up. And at first what you do is you reach up too far. You see how my shoulders are kind of squinched into my, I think I just made that word up, into my ears like that. You want to practice drawing your shoulders down your back so you have that space. Would you do that one or two times with me? Reach too far and then draw it down. Inhale. Exhale, draw it down your back is what you will hear me say sometimes. Okay, release that, shake it out. So I'm going to do the downward dog 2 times. If you're more experienced or you've seen this video already, you're welcome to do both downward dogs with me. If you're new and you're watching this, I want you to check out the shoulder movement first, and then as I turn sideways, you can join in on that downward dog. If it's still really new, you might be watching both for a while to kind of figure out the form of the body, okay? So I'm going to set my hands pretty far forward, kind of like getting ready for a child's pose. And right away I spread my fingers wide. I use the muscles in my hands. And I'll have my hands as wide as a yoga mat if my yoga mat was facing this way. So you could set up your yoga mat facing towards me. And so you're going to watch my shoulders. I'm going to lift up. And at first I'm going to take my shoulders too far up. And now I'm going to practice drawing the shoulders down. So one more time. Too far up. Drawing them down. Deep breath. And then settle. Awesome. Did you get to kind of feel that out? And I'm going to turn sideways now. Again, if you're still learning, you might watch this one also because it is the challenge of figuring out where your hands and feet should go and how to turn your hips up a little more to the sky. So I'm going to come into a child's pose, an active child's pose position, really active. Your arms don't collapse, they're very active, lifting up. For a moment I'm going to bend my knees and turn the hips more up towards the sky. So bending the knees can help that. And then shoulders down the back. Keeping this, take a deep breath. Now a good way to discover where your downward dog is to practice shifting forward into your plank. And feel free to practice knees down plank at this time. And then you should not have to move your feet and hands in order to go from downward dog to plank. One more time, downward dog. Deep breath. Drop your knees down. And we'll settle back into a little child's pose. And I'm going to suggest that you turn your palms up and relax with your palms turned up. And then turn your palms back down. Now make your way up to seated. For The reason why I turn my palms up is to release the pressure I accidentally put. You can just take a seat for a moment. The pressure I accidentally put on my wrists. Okay, so you're going to learn if your wrists tend to have a lot of issues within a yoga practice, you can practice a forearm downward dog, which is called a dolphin. And I will get there in a moment. So what we're going to do now is a lunge. So I'll have you bring your right leg through and lift the back knee up. So we're going to do what's called a crescent lunge. So this one takes a little balance. The back heel is up, and you're going to balance up between the two legs, lifting. This is one I absolutely love. And you're going to pull in through the core, so drawing back. So trying not to sag, but be lifted. Awesome. Keeping that, sweep the arms up. Relax again. Here's those shoulders. Relax them down the back. Deep breath. The crescent lunge, what you can do is you can take this, that would be your right hand, to your left wrist and do a little side bend too. It feels kind of nice. Deepen into the hip flexor. Inhale up. Exhale down. Connection of the breath. Awesome. Let's try the other side. Down. Bring it forward. So now making sure you brought that foot far enough forward. Lifting up. Take an extra moment sometimes to kind of scoot your leg to the right spot. Strong. So that's a squirrel, right? That noise, do you hear it? The squirrels are going crazy in the trees. I wasn't sure before. All right, so now balancing here. And this is a balancing pose. Okay, I think I've gotten really used to it, so I forget that. But don't worry if you're feeling like a little, just take on the challenge and practicing your balance, because your back heel way back there is lifted. You're just on your toes. I realize you cannot see that foot as well. Lift up. Relax the shoulders down. Crescent. Your left hand would take your right wrist and reach. Deep breath. Inhale up. Exhale down. And take it back. There's so many cool sounds here. So I'm going to teach us dolphin pose now. Okay? Dolphin is fun for everybody. It is a useful one to bring into a class if you ever need to come off of your hands and wrists in all the downward dogs that happen in a class. You can adjust. You can change it up. All right, so if you want to watch me, I'm going to do it 2 times again. You can join me if you know what's up, okay? So I'm going to bring it down and down. So the place where my hands were is where I put my elbows. Arms come out. The hands can either be like this, which is what I'm going to do, or interlaced. Okay, here's the first one. Drop the head, lift the hips. Deep breath. And then lower that down. Awesome. So now second time I'm going to turn sideways. So you'll see the form that way, or you can be practicing with me. Set it up. Elbow. Elbow. Lifting. Really feeling that stretch back down into your heels. And here's where I get to teach another type of plank. I'm going to walk my feet back and we move into the forearm plank. So strong and lifted. Deep breath. Keep in mind you can be practicing with the knees down and be really happy with that. And then back to dolphin one more time. So I lift the hips up, walk the feet forward. And then lower those knees down. Relax back into a little child's pose moment. Just settle back through the spine. Deep breath. All right, walking your hands back. We're going to make our way up to standing and do some standing poses. So just pressing your way up. the feet for a moment because I want to use them for a balancing pose, the dancer pose today. So you're going to wake them up. So if you look down at your feet, you're going to see how you do it, lifting your toes and trying to spread them apart from each other. And then you lift up your heels. So it's a little action of roll through, lift the toes to the heels. One more time, toes to heels. Ooh, little balance, so lift the heels and just feel a balance here. Practicing, knowing that you can be thrown off and being totally okay with that because that is good practice. How do you counterbalance when you're falling? So now I take the feet a little wider and wake up the ankles. So I'm not sure, can you see what I'm doing? I'm rolling them out and then rolling them in. You'll be standing up nice. Rolling them out and then rolling them in. So this is an interesting one to explore because you're going to find one direction that is almost impossible, maybe. And it's very cool with practice. You can balance the two directions out. So I feel more balanced now than I did 5 years ago. So we get to do dancer pose. And so for those of you that have never really seen dancer pose, let me take my minute, my moment, just to give you the quickie. It's going to be here and reaching forward on each side. Okay, so to balance better, you might focus your eyesight down on a little point that's not moving. And before you lift the leg up, really feel the connection of the one on the ground. That's where I love practicing outside. I always find more connection into the earth. But a hardwood floor is really nice. So right here, you tuck it in, draw your core in, deep breath. So now opening slowly forward, practicing balance, and at the same time, if your balance is off or you're feeling challenged, try to keep a smile and just be patient with that. Practice. So there's nothing that teaches you more, that'll keep you more safe in life, as practicing that counterbalancing skill. There's nothing. No, I don't know. I might be exaggerating. Deep breath here. And then bring it back in. Switch. It's fun to see my red tank top among the green outdoor scenery. I haven't worn this one in a while. I just pulled it out. Red is a color of new beginnings. So I kind of wanted to start with that. It's also the color connected to the root chakra, connecting to the earth. Deep breath. So patience with your balance. You are at home. You can do things however you want or wherever you have chosen to be. You could use a wall just to kind of get this going and practice it. Don't hesitate. It's yours. It is your yoga practice. And release down. Awesome. So now you're going to set your feet wide, and we'll play with forward bending a little bit. So I got a few ideas. And at first I just want to warm up. So you got your feet set pretty wide. They're maybe off your yoga mat if you have your yoga mat this way. Feel free to switch your mat direction if you want. And I have my hands on my thighs, or they can be at your hips. Super strong stance, or right here. And you're just going to begin to circle it around like this. You dive it down into the hamstrings. You feel that? That's the back of the upper leg, and up. Let's take another one in that direction. Your knees are slightly bent, please. Until you get a lot of flexibility in this area, I love a little knee bend. Little knee bend. I use knee bend a lot. It protects my lower back. I tend to have issues and a lower back that gives me trouble. Really easy. The knee bend helps me to keep my back safe. Awesome. So the next forward bend is going to be a strong one, the strongest, where you come halfway down. okay? So inhale up and exhale. Use your thighs and reach your spine long towards me, okay? And I'm going to turn sideways so you can see what I'm doing with my spine. It's long and straight. You see, that's what you're practicing, that lengthening of your spine. Eyesight is down when you have it. Strong through the core, so you pull up in your belly button a little bit. And see if you can find the feel of your hamstrings here. Good. So you're going to just carefully, with that strong back, you're going to lift up, inhale, exhale, come back down to the halfway down. So in some ways, this is a more challenging forward bend. Works the strength of your spine. But also, this is a very protective forward bend in case you are uncomfortable with the hanging style. The hanging style sometimes comes into the back too much, into the lower back, and can cause trouble for you. So we're going to stay here longer, pull the core in, and sweep the arms out. Deep breath here. There's cars going by every once in a while. It's like a little road right here. Like, hi, yeah, I'm just doing my thing. So inhale up, exhale. That is a really strong forward bend. Now we're going to go into the hamstrings where you just let go. So if you move into that one and you find it's not right for you yet, let it go, come back up. Inhale up, exhale. I'm going to come to the legs briefly, and then release down. Staying with that, please. I'm just coming up to talk to you. Staying with that, if you're happy, you could begin to kind of feel it out and sway a tiny bit side to side. Now everybody have your knees bent, hands up to your thighs, come back to the halfway, long beautiful spine, and then lift up to the sky. Inhale up, and exhale. Awesome. Feet together. So now I get to teach you the little combination. It just puts together what you've learned in the sequences today, in the 2 videos. So what I'm going to do is turn that way, come to the front of your yoga mat, and stand very tall. Inhale, sweep it up. Exhale, diving down into a forward bend that you like. And stay there a moment. And then bend your knees and take your right leg back. And deep breath here. Getting ready, you're going to sweep up to that crescent lunge. Strong through the legs, lifting, a little balance, pulling in through the core. And then inhale up, exhale down. You're going to put your right hand down and open up. And then bring that down. Perfect. Feet come back together. And switch legs. Take your left leg way back there so you have that straight line right here. Feel that, see that. And then sweep up into your crescent. Inhale up, exhale it down. Bring your left hand down, and this time you're going to open your twist this way. Your eyesight could turn up, but remember, it doesn't have to. It can be forward or even down. And then bring that down. So now you're going to come back to downward dog. You're going to inhale here, step this leg back, exhale, downward dog. Take a moment, shoulders, turn the hips up, maybe bend the knees, play with it. And then shifting forward into a plank. The plank of your choice. Holding that strong core is lifted long through the body. And then settling back into a child's pose. And if you are feeling really comfortable in the child's pose, stay there a little bit longer, okay? I'm going to take a seat. There are times, and I'm not sure, maybe I already said this, but there are times when the child's pose is not comfortable in somebody's body. I know that is the case sometimes. So if you're finding that, you just ease your way out of it and choose another relaxed position in that moment. I got this little knee right now that is actually giving me issues in the last couple days. So that child's pose was not comfortable. Stay there for another breath if you're happy. I have some grapes. I'm going to have a little snack. All right. Last little piece of cloth. Goes over there. You're going to grab a strap. And we'll do a laying down. We're going to do that in a moment. I have one more idea before that. Forgot. So now everybody come to a nice tall seated position, whether it's cross-legged or whatever you need, just like in the beginning. And you're going to inhale, reach up to the sky. And exhale it down. And now put your right hand down and side bend in this direction. Feel the fingers reaching. Use this hand on the ground and press the other hip down. So this is the curl and sweep, so check it out. I shift my hand forward a little bit and I curl like so. And then you're going to sweep it open, looking around you, opening up. You can close your eyes too. Okay, depends on where you're at. Curling through and sweeping it open. One more of those on this side. Curl it through and sweep it open. And then center out. So now bringing it up and over to the second side, using this hand, pressing the other hip down. Deep breath. You're going to inhale here, exhale, curl it forward. Inhale as you sweep it back. Exhale, curl it through. Inhale, sweep it back. One more time. Curl. And sweep it back, open up, and then settle it down. Okay. So we're coming towards our back now. And this is where you'll use your strap for a figure 4. So the figure 4 is with the leg like this, but I'm going to add on this strap to keep the stretch a little less intense for our first experience with it. But also with this strap, you can take the stretch into a more intense place, gradually. So, turning towards you, I'm going to hook that on right there. Got my figure 4 cross. And you roll to your back, and we'll stay there a little while. So using your strap in a nice, gentle way, kind of checking it out with care. Maybe moving it around just a tiny bit. And then releasing that, take the leg out and roll your way up to seated. And switching legs. So I put the strap on the second side, hook in the foot, switch sides. And see how this one feels. Releasing that leg out, rolling your way up. So what I'm going to do on this video is move us into Savasana, relax Savasana, the corpse pose. And it's all about letting the body go, letting your muscles release. Okay, and so we'll stay here a little while, probably a shorter time than a perfect Savasana should be. And then I'll bring us out up into a little namaste at the end. So stick with me, okay? So you're going to reach your legs probably long. Relax your body, let the hips settle open, the feet fall open, palms turn up. Your breath is just so easy and soft. Just let it rise and fall as natural as possible. And allow everything to get nice and heavy. Relaxed. Just move your feet and hands around a little bit, kind of waking up slowly. And then begin to stretch long, like arms reach, legs reach, stretching. Deep breath. And then bend the knees and bring them in to your body. And then use that curled body to roll to one side and press up. So Savasana is really important within the yoga practice. And you'll see a lot of my short videos of yoga practice that do not include a Savasana. I would say at the end, you should add in your own Savasana if I don't do it with you, okay? So I want you to keep that in mind. It's just the importance of, after all of that active yoga, the practice of letting go deeply. Anytime you get a chance, set up, even if you want to set up a big old blanket, come outside in this beautiful weather that we're going to have at the beginning of semester, I hope, and just lay there. Give yourself 5 minutes. That's all you need to do. So I'm going to ask you to, excuse me, and the squirrel is like speaking up. Bring your palms together. Let your fingers touch. And this namaste at the end, this prayer hand, it's very simple and sweet. It does not have to be connected to anything spiritual if you don't want it to be. For me, often, it's a touching in to my breath. Checking in, how do I feel? And then it's a shared appreciation. Okay, going from deep within out to everyone around or within, within the world, however you want to express it. And so as a shared class, the light within me salutes the light within you. Namaste. And thank you so much.